What's up everyone, welcome back to Switchcraft, and it's a great day to be a gamer. Today I'm going to take a break from the hot takes and talk about something a little bit more evergreen. Something that's been on my mind for about a month now, ever since I was lent a PS4 Pro from a friend at work and have had the chance to play a ton of cool games. I'm talking Rainbow Six Siege, the Uncharted collection, the good Star Wars Battlefront, Grand Theft Auto 5, Spider-Man, The Witcher 3, Dishonored 2, Nier Automata, Ratchet and Clank. I know I'm just scratching the surface of the huge PS4 library, but I've seen enough. And today I'm going to talk about why and how Sony should make a new handheld to succeed the Vita. The PlayStation Vita was released on December 17, 2011 in Japan and on February 22, 2012 in North America. It was originally met with huge excitement but quickly fizzled out of relevance on our lovely continent for a bunch of reasons. Topping out at a mere 2.56 million units sold in North America, it ended up selling a couple more units than the Sega Saturn and a couple fewer units than the Sega Dreamcast, and to this day remains the 25th best-selling console in North American history according to VGCharts.com. While you could go into detail about little things the Vita did wrong, like certain button configuration and its power, we've now seen other portable consoles overcome those exact obstacles and still be massively successful. The two reasons the Vita failed in North America, the main two reasons, were its game library and those dang proprietary memory cards. When a console isn't doing as well as expected, and it's lacking third-party support, its parent company usually works overtime to provide gamers with amazing first-party titles to keep them happy and keep the system going. We have no better example of this than the Wii U right over here. Sony didn't do this, however, and cut first-party support a couple of years in when things were looking like they weren't even salvageable. This may have saved them a little bit of money short-term, but you can bet it left a sour taste in the mouth of most of those 2.56 million adopters. This was not the case, however, in Japan, where Sony continued to pump out titles. That, combined with Japan being notorious for liking their handhelds, this allowed the Vita, in spite of all of its other flaws, to sell to this day and have a lifetime of 5.88 million units sold and growing. The other big reason that the Vita ultimately failed in North America was because of this: a proprietary memory stick, the Sony PlayStation Vita memory stick. Upon launch, we found out that the Vita couldn't use just any memory stick. Sony made theirs a specific shape so that only cards bought from Sony would fit the Vita. If that wasn't enough, they made them significantly more expensive than generic flash cards even at the time. We're talking 3 to 4 times what a generic flash chip cost at the time, and the Vita specific one couldn't be used in any other device. Knowing this, I'm surprised it sold even as well as it did. But that was now 6 or 7 years ago, and now Sony has clearly won the last generation of console sales. Xbox hopes to make a comeback in the next generation with power and streaming, and Nintendo is showing that a handheld done right can be wildly successful. And after thousands of hours with my beloved Switch, and only the last month or so with this PS4 Pro, I think Sony owes it to gamers everywhere to give it another shot. I don't say this lightly because anyone who's a regular watcher knows I'm pretty much a Nintendo fanboy, but man, some of these games are hard to ignore. Yeah, maybe some of them don't have the stories and lore that have been around for generations. Yeah, maybe some of them aren't the most family friendly, but I'll admit, there are some great and great looking games. If Sony could develop a portable console that really gives us a true home console experience, use normal people memory cards, support it with their own brand of great games, there's no telling how great it could be. Spider-Man is one of the best, most visually spectacular games I've ever played. The Witcher 3 is one of the biggest. Nier Automata is one of the most dynamic, and Ratchet and Clank is one of the most amazing platformers. Third-party developers are high on the Switch and are desperate to make games for it. This euphoria will most likely bridge the gap created the last time Sony tried something like this. Sony learned firsthand, pun intended, what works and what doesn't their first time around, and they now have a leader in the market who's successful and they can learn even more from. Figure out your buttons, get rid of that rear weird touchpad, give it a power bump over the Switch, keep battery life reasonable, and I'll say it again, use normal memory cards. And most importantly, find a way to get games like this in the hands of gamers in a way that they can take with them anywhere. And man, you'll be a force to be reckoned with. Hell, you could probably even get away with charging a little more for a 4G model like the original 3G had. Even with a name like Switchcraft, I'd buy one. And if I could supplement this with all these, it's a no-brainer. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think about the possibility down in the comments. It's a great day to be a gamer. Switchcraft out.